Hey guys, Sarah here, your Law of Attraction coach, and today I would like to tell you a little story. So basically, what I want to tell you about today is about how I have had a journey of self-discovery and learning how to put myself first. Now, this can be a very difficult process, and of course, when you're a mother, especially, putting yourself first often just really doesn't and cannot happen, especially in the early days, the early years, the demands of babyhood, when they need you and they need you for real life stuff. So that's a difficult time for sure. So what I'm talking about here is kind of slightly different, but it's still all about putting yourself first. And I'm going to tell you the story of what's happened with me. So I've had 4 children, as lots of you know, and having 4 children is very demanding on your body and on your senses and on everything, especially if you don't have help in your home or help or support from family. It can be overwhelming and really, really, really challenging, especially if maybe your husband's working or you're just there on your own with your children. It can be difficult. So what I want to tell you about today is how I learned from a difficult place that actually I needed to put myself first. And when I put myself first, that everything in my life would change. And actually, the children wouldn't be so demanding because all they were doing is showing me that I wasn't putting myself first. And it's a strange thing. They were being demanding to show me, to make me feel uncomfortable. And in the uncomfort, I felt like I needed to do something. I needed to change. So I did. So putting yourself first, for lots of people, that just screams selfishness. But actually, it's just the opposite. Honestly, it's just the opposite. So since I've decided to put myself first, I can tell you that everything in my life is slotting into place really, really nicely. My children don't need me as much. They are more independent. They play with each other more. I definitely found that they were all around me all the time in the earlier, not in the last few years, but just before that. Because they were just showing me what I needed to do for myself. So it really is a massive lesson in anybody's life to put themselves first. So I'd like to take some more examples so we can really learn about what it's like to put yourself first. So let's say you've got a busy schedule and a friend calls you up and says, I really need help. Could you look after my child? I've had that in the past. You really want to help. You want to help this person because they're struggling, and you know what it's like to struggle, and you don't want your friend to struggle because you love them and you care for them. It could even be a family member. But do you know what? In that situation, if you are not doing really well, don't do it. Don't do it. And this is the first lesson in looking after yourself first. So I'm really sorry, but actually I've got my own challenges. I need to, you don't even have to have excuses, but I'm really sorry. I can't do that. I really, really wish I could, but maybe you need to explain. I've got my own family to, I've got a system and I need to cook dinner and I need to do this. So it's just not going to work today, but let's schedule something in. I'd love to help another time. So you can keep it quite simple like that. So that's one way that you could put yourself first, your needs. Say you wake up in the morning, you're not feeling great, and you feel like you have to do all the things that you thought you had to do. Maybe you have to clean the whole house, or you have to go out and help somebody with this, or take your child to a certain event or something like that. I'll tell you what happens. Unless you feel like your mood can be shifted, at this event, oh, that will take my mind off it, and then I'll see my friend, and then, you know, my mood will be shifted. Unless you feel like that, then it's going to be better for you to take some time and really get your thoughts into the right place. So make sure you feel better, whatever that means. Maybe it means you just snuggle up on the sofa with your children, or you watch a movie, or you go out for a walk in your own time. You don't feel that pressure. Whatever it is, put yourself first. Now, these are basic things to put. These are, I would say, the first steps, but it can get more in depth, and people struggle with this. But really, being selfish, I promise you, is such a great tool. Because, and when I say selfish, I'm not saying being mean or nasty in any way, but what I'm saying is, when you feel good, everything around you will be good too. The people who you talk to will enjoy talking to you. Your children will love being around you. So let's say you're lucky enough to be in a situation where your partner can watch the kids for an hour, and you can go off on a walk, and on that walk you make a decision. You say, within this hour I'm going to turn my thoughts around, and I'm going to go back with a positive mentality, and I'm going to hug my kids, and maybe I'm going to just read them a book or something really gentle and really nourishing, and not putting too much pressure on yourself. That is nurturing yourself, and that is putting yourself first. And then your children thrive, because the book you read them is so delightful, and the time you spend with them is so precious, and you can think in your mind, I've had an hour to myself, it was wonderful, I made that intention that I was going. The intention wasn't just to get away from everybody, it was to give yourself a little bit of space to come back and actually be the person that you want to be. Because we can all wake up and have thoughts going on in our mind and struggle and think we've got too much going on in the day, and too much, too much to handle, overwhelming. And stress is just really not good for us. It's really not good for us, and it's not good for the people around us. So put yourself first. There's too many parents in the world struggling, too many parents overwhelmed, too many parents, having a lack of money and struggling financially. So let's really take self-care up a notch. And I'm not talking about self-care. To me, is not having a bath. It's not, that is self-care, but it's not just about that. It's about looking after your thoughts day in, day out, all of the time, and always putting yourself first. Now, in my life, I tend to, part of me looking after myself would be to make sure that my children are happy and fulfilled if I'm not with them, say, or, because then my mind can rest. Often if my husband has them, I will text and say, is everyone okay, or whatever, and that really helps me to relax and to be able to get into whatever I want to do. So it's really important. So my journey of learning how to really be selfish in this way has really been quite epic. I used to be a mother who would do anything for their children all of the time, and now I have found such amazing difference in our life where I say to my kids quite firmly, no, I cannot do that because I don't feel in the mood to do that, and if I do that, then it won't be beneficial to you. And then, it's really firm, and not firm in a horrible way, but just firm, being so that they understand and they listen, and it's clear. Being clear with your children is so important. And I do realise a lot of these examples here I'm talking about from a mother's point of view, so I apologise if you're not a parent, but it can definitely work with anybody in your life, with your family, with your friends. If you're a single person and your friend wants to meet you and you're not feeling great, then don't do it unless you think it's going to benefit you. So really put yourself first and try to nourish yourself as much as possible, and nourish your mind. nourishing your mind is the best thing that you can do. So anything that you can think of to nourish your mind, just do it. You know, it could be a meditation, it could be shutting your eyes and being relaxed, it could be, you know, being peaceful. I just, you know, I'm really into the topic of putting yourself first. And I'd love to hear what you think, guys, about this. And if you've tried it yourself, or if you think you want to try it, you can ask me some questions. There's so much more to talk about. I've really just, you know, hit the iceberg of the tip of the iceberg with this one. So let me know. And yeah, I'm Sarah, your Law of Attraction coach, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. Okay, see you soon.